bowler, exactly what he's capable of. Defends back to Mortaza, whose 4 overs have gone for 14. Taskin will take up the second over of his spell, and after a word from Sir Clive, it will be the dulcet tones of Neil Manthorpe.
Well, I think Bangladesh should probably about 60 runs short here. 300 odd would probably really have given them a good chance here. India would have had to go after the bowling and probably make a few mistakes and make this contest a very even one. But the point is that they don't have to do that. They just sort of play normal cricket, and they probably should get this total. But you never know in this game of great uncertainty. And but the Bangladeshis are still there trying.
They are 40 without loss from just 7 overs, 225 more needed. And Shikhar Dhawan on strike as Ribble Hussain comes charging in, and that's pulled away by Taskin Ahmed, rather hooked away by Dhawan down towards fine leg, and they go through for a single. 41 without loss. Yes, glorious uncertainty and unpredictability. It doesn't stop us from predicting it, though, does it?
No, not at all.
It looks like India are going to coast to victory at this stage.
Yes, well, but the point is, as I said, they're in a very good position, Bangladesh, to get a much larger score. But they lost wickets at the wrong time, so to say, and from the bowlers that they didn't expect to get such wickets. But there again, they had a chance to get a really large score.
Here's Taskin, one of the quickest bowlers in the tournament, certainly the quickest in the Bangladesh squad, and that one is driven off the inside edge by Rohit Sharma down towards long leg once again, and they go through for an easy single. Rohit has 26 off 31. Shikhar Dhawan 16 off 13 deliveries, and I mean, in many ways, Sir Clive, Bangladesh haven't been. I mean, they are progressing every year, aren't they? In the last 3 or 4 years, they've achieved things in every year that they never have done before. Look at test victories. They've beaten every one of the major test nations away from home, apart from South Africa, either in their country or in a neutral venue. That one is chopped away beautifully by Dhawan down into the ground. It hits so hard that it bounces directly over the head of the man at backward point. It was a wonderful piece of batting. So their first ever semi-final, biggest game of in their cricket history, and they put 265 on the board.
Well, yes, they're improving all the time, and as you said, in the last year or so, they've been a force to be reckoned with, and I'm sure that they will continue to be so because of the young players that they have and the amount of cricket that they'll be playing in 2 years' time. They'll be playing against all the top class world cricketing sides.
And also the amount of players they've got to choose from. Pushed away defensively by Dhawan up towards mid-on. The bowler Taskin does the fielding. I mean, you've been to Bangladesh. I mean, we talk so much about the passion and intensity of the support in India and Pakistan, but for me, it's exceeded by the passion for the game in Bangladesh.
Yes, I've seen quite a few of the youngsters over the years, and I've seen them develop. And I don't think I think it will continue because cricket, they love cricket down there, and they're doing well in the international scene.
Taskin again, straight approach, short hooked 4. Well, he's got to get it up a little higher, Taskin. If he wants to bowl bouncers with his extra pace, he's got to get it up above chest height, more like throat height. That was really just above waist height and pulled away.
Well, it just shows you that the wicket is pitched very good, and he's hitting it in front of square. That means that he's had enough time, to put the ball where he wants to hit it, because this guy is not coming onto the bat as he's expecting. I don't know why they're trying the short ball.
Element of predictability about Taskin. Another short one, 6. Same delivery, different result. Same shot, but that one was going all the way from the very moment it made contact with the bat. Crack that indicated that it came straight out of the middle. Shikhar Dhawan enjoys that little glove punch with Rohit. He's got a smile on his face. And Taskin has gone for 16 in that over.
Well, it's quite obvious he likes that shot, the bowler, because he's pulled that from outside of the off stump, and there again it shows how good a pitch this is, and that he's not getting any pace from it. So why not pitch the ball up and hope that he makes that sort of mistake? So it was not a very good over for Bangladesh.
No, it certainly wasn't. Poor old Mashrafi Mortaza, the captain, is doing his bit. He's gone for just 14 in 4 overs, and that single over one from Taskin Ahmed went for 16. Mashrafin once again. Rohit plays defensively out towards mid-wicket, and immediately tidied up by Rubal Hussain. Shikhar Dhawan is really flying along now. 30 from 17 deliveries, 5 fours, and that's 6. Rohit perfectly happy to bide his time and play the junior role if that's what's required of him. He's just returning to top-line international cricket after 6 months on the sidelines with injury. Mashrafin once again, and Rohit steers this one out to backward point once again. Sumyar Saka does the tidying up. They've been ruthlessly efficient, India, haven't they? That wobble against Sri Lanka, and it was a big wobble. They couldn't defend 320.
Yeah, and the point is here, I think, at one stage the Bangladeshis looked like they were going to post a very big score, but then they lost those 2 important wickets, and just pushed them back a bit. And here I think they're not bowling the line and the sort of length that would put the Indian batsmen in some sort of bother.
Here is Mashrafi Mortaza again, angled in towards Rohit and pushed out towards mid-wicket. Third man and fine leg both up in the circle. Only 2 men out in the first 10 over power play, and Bangladesh have decided to have them both in front of the wicket, one at square leg and one at long on to Rohit Sharma. So there is very, very little room for error for Mashrafi Mortaza. In at the pads, and it'll be glanced down to fine leg for 4, or just steered past third man, short third man, off the back foot, sliced off the back foot, straight back foot cover drive out towards again, angled in Saka,
towards
chasing
Rohit.
that backward point, overhauls it, flicks it back towards mid-wicket. Third man up, that's Shabir Rahman. 2 more, 58 without loss. So the wickets you're referring to, Tamim Iqbal made 70, reaching 50 for the 4th time in his last 5 innings. And then a really disappointing one is Mushfiqur Rahim, the former captain, who made 61 before he pulled really a low full toss straight to mid-wicket. So 2 half centuries, which could have been much more substantial, but that was the one that really hurt Mushfiqur. Rohit takes a single out towards mid-wicket.
Well, you were hoping that the 2 of them would have probably posted centuries, because they were seeing the ball quite well. They're playing the Indian spinners quite well. They didn't look in any particular trouble, and then all of a sudden they lost those two wickets, so it set them back a bit, and they never recovered.
Well, the atmosphere has been getting more and more excitable as the day has gone on. There were lots and lots of empty seats, not, I hasten to add, unsold seats, just empty seats at the beginning of the game, but everybody's now in the ground. Everybody has lunched. Everybody is now enjoying the action, and the atmosphere getting louder and louder and more into the game as the supporters of both teams try to lift their combatants. And that one is turned away for a single behind square on the leg side as Mashraf drifts into the pads of Shikhar Dhawan. 9 overs gone. India 60 without loss. Bangladesh got it way up, so Clive, but get the right balance between pushing for wickets and trying to be patient as well.
Yes, I think we'll find out exactly how the land lies when the spinners come in, because they have some pretty good spinners, but then again, the Indians spin pretty well, and if India do win this game, it'll be quite interesting to see Pakistan and India, because they don't play often. You never, it would be a good contest, and I'm sure that there'll be a lot of people at the Oval. So I'm not writing off the Bangladesh, but I'm just saying if that comes to fruition.
Did you do the India-Pakistan match, the first group game here?
Yes.
2 weeks ago. If I'd walked up to you at the end of that game and said, you know what, these two teams are going to meet again in the final, you'd have questioned me, wouldn't you?
Yes, I would. Your sanity? No.
Yeah.
No, but Pakistan didn't play well. But the point is, it seems that they've just picked their game up at the moment.
No, change of bowling. Rubal Hussain into the attack for the first time. Shikhar Dhawan steers that one to backward point, no run.
But I can assure you, whoever wins the toss at the Oval will put the opposition in.
On the basis that no total is safe, and they'll back themselves to chase down.
All right, and they're hoping that they can contain them to a reasonable total, and both teams seem to be chasing quite well. Pakistan seem to just playing a little better at the moment.
Pakistan have got the best bowling attack in the tournament, don't they?
Yes, they do.
60 without loss. We're into the 10th over. Here's Rubal Hussain from the city end, and bunted off his hip by Shikhar Dhawan on the back foot out towards mid-on. A bit of a fumbling, stumbling stop there at mid-on by the skipper, by Taskin Ahmed rather, and they go through for an easy single. But really, Pakistan were not just heavily beaten by India in that opening game. They looked
yes, they looked tired, lethargic. They didn't look organised.
They lost Wahab Riaz, their pace spearhead.
Yeah, but they seem to have found this Junaid, and he's doing extremely well. Holding a good line, and he's a wicket taker.
Hassan Ali.
Yes, he's full of beans at the moment, doing a lot with the ball, and he's enthusiastic, and he's bowling the right sort of line, which I think they've done it very well to reach the final.
Just an amazing turnaround. Here's Rubal Hussain. India 61 without loss, needing 265. Rohit Sharma steers it away back past backward point, and there's an excellent effort from Mosaddeq Hussain. But it is cut off at third man, and they are able to profit by just a single. Rohit 31, Shikhar Dhawan 32. Bangladesh lost the toss this morning. It was delayed by 10 minutes because of a brief light shower, and they were put into bat first, as Sir Clive Lloyd was just mentioning. Half centuries for Tamim Iqbal, 70. Mushfiqur Rahim, who made 61. 264 for 7. As Rubal Hussain is in once again. Rohit Sharma nudges that one out to mid-wicket. Mahmudullah does the tidying up. And so 264 for 7. Other minor contributions, 21 from Mahmudullah and 30 not out from Masharaf Mortaza, the captain. 25 balls, 5 fours. Pick of the bowlers was a difficult one to choose. There were 3 of them who took 2 wickets. Cut away to backward point. Mosaddeq Hussain, good stop. Diving to his right, got both hands to it. Kedar Jadhav, for the part-time off-spinner, took 2 for 22 from 6 overs. So I'm inclined to think that he was probably the pick of the bowlers, although he didn't have to bowl in the power plays. The 2 opening bowlers, Bhuvneshwar Kumar, 2 for 53 in his 10, and Jasprit Bumrah, 2 for 40. They all bowled reasonably well, didn't they?
Well, the part-time spinner did his job, did it very well. He got 2 important wickets.
Rohit plays defensively off the back foot out towards backward point. Mosaddeq in. to field. Yeah, Jadov got Tamim Iqbal for 70 and Mushfiqur Rahim for 61. Two top scorers.
Two top scorers. And if they were still in there, I think India would have been probably facing a larger total. The other thing this tournament has attracted some large crowds. There's been some excellent crowds around the country, and I think that's got to be good for the game. And it's not 20-20, it's a 50 over cricket, which is to me a very good competition. And I keep saying I sincerely hope that this competition would be kept, and that we see one or two other teams performing on this format of the game.
Would you agree that a few people have said to me, why is the Champions Trophy always held in England? And my response is, it's the only country that it would work in, cricket playing country that it would work in. Do you agree?
Well, yes, I think it's cheaper because you don't have to travel by plane. You travel by coach, and everybody's got their coach. And
here's Mashraf Mortaza again, short, hooked away by Dhawan down towards fine leg for a single. I was thinking more of the crowds. The cosmopolitan nature of the UK means that even if you took the tournament to India, I don't think that you would get half a stadium for a New Zealand against Sri Lanka game.
Yes, I think that's the other thing about it, is that here you as you said, that variety, that plural society as such, that they would support an New Zealand game would still attract a lot of people, but in other countries it might not. So that's why most of the first three World Cups played here. Cost of travel was minimal, and
pretty much guaranteed large crowds every single game. Bit of a mix-up here. They've set off for a single. Shikhar Dhawan was off like a greyhound chasing a rabbit there, and had to be sent. He got halfway, so he's actually completed a run. He got halfway back down the pitch before he realised that Rohit Sharma really wasn't going to respond.
It wasn't his score. It was the bowler's end. The batsman at the bowler's end was Dhawan, his score.
Mashraf in Rohit Sharma opens the face of the bat to a perfectly good delivery and steers it down towards third man for a single. 65 for none.
And it looks like that's the only way probably they'll get out or run out, because they look quite comfortable. They're playing everything, in the right manner, and there's no great movement from the ball. So they're well in control, India, at the moment.
We were talking about how high scoring the Oval has been, but Birmingham's not much behind. I mean, the wickets have been very, very batsman friendly here. Slow ball bouncer from Mashraf Mortaza, up around chest height, and Shikhar Dhawan has to delay the pull shot, which he is able to do. Just picks it in time and rolls the wrist down to long leg for another single.
I think too, some of these pitches were supposed to be played out, and they weren't because of the rain. So we're playing on pitches that are pretty new, and that's why they don't have it's batsman friendly, because it has no bounce really.
Slow bounce, tennis ball bounce.
Very much so. My type of bowling it would be.
Here is Mashraf, again, slower ball, I think, full of length, and Rohit Sharma comes forward and nudges it up towards mid-on. That's intercepted by Mashraf diving to his right.
Yeah, my type of bowling, right arm sweet. I don't think I would put anybody off the cornflakes in the morning.
You took wickets.
Well, they were unfortunate. Those guys were very unfortunate, I must. Oh, they were trying to be kind to me.
Did you get more? Did you score more hundreds or take more wickets, Clive? I know the answer. I'm checking whether you did. Here's Mashraf again to Rohit. Flicks it off his pads out towards deep backward square leg, and they go through for a single. Go on.
Yes, I think I have 300 odd first-class wickets. I think so, if I'm not wrong. Yes.
I think you're
I wouldn't.
right.
And
you certainly didn't have scored 300 hundreds, but a lot.
No, I would have been a very tired young man.
11 overs gone, 67 without lost more from Sir Clive Lloyd. And then for the next few minutes, next few overs, you'll be with Chetan Narula.
Well, I can say that India seems to be coasting here at the moment. They don't looking any trouble. They're playing each ball in its merit. The nearest they got, they looked like Bangladesh looked like getting a wicket. Was a sort of misunderstanding between the two batsmen. And but the point is that they're still there, and they're really trying to get to this total as quickly as possible. Large crowd and some wonderful shots are being played here today. It is an excellent day so far, and I can say that the weatherman has been right.
Well, the forecast was always good, just a bit of cloud and rain showers, which we had in the morning. Right now it's sunny, just a bit of cloud about, as we have Rubel continuing from the Birmingham end, and Rohit Sharma just glides it down towards third man for a single. Score is 68 for no loss. And on popular demand, I have to ask this, Clive, how was lunch?
That's good as usual, I must say. I'm not one of these for large lunches, but the food, the variety has been excellent.
Edgbaston has always helped us out in really good amounts and good food throughout this tournament. Perhaps the best of the three venues, if I can say so.
Well, I must say, when I played, they've all been, the food has been always excellent here.
Curries and kebabs, and well, strawberries and cream, as Rubel Hussain again from the Birmingham end. This time Shikhar Dhawan down the leg side, just helping the ball along. Fielder at fine leg was a bit squarer, cut it off. Another boundary for Dhawan. That's a sixth so far. He's also had a 6 in there. 38 of 23, 72 for no loss. Just helping there himself.
Oh yes, that was one that came along the leg side, and he sort of glanced it quite fine, and the man at deep fine leg was too wide and just couldn't catch him.
He averages over 90 in Champions Trophy. Has a very good record in the ICC tournaments. They need wickets.
Well, yes.
How do they come about?
He's hoping that something might happen, that they keep them from scoring and try to lull them into that false sense. Hopefully that they will.
Again on the leg stump this time, and he is happy to turn it off his pads down towards fine leg for just the 1 run.
But these two guys are accustomed to this sort of situation. They seem comfortable. They don't have to do anything silly, and they will probably just keep rotating the strike, and they have so many top-class batsmen to come. Why put pressure on their middle order when they can probably see at home?
Hussain again on the top of his mark. This time will be Rohit Sharma facing. Not much change in the field. Mid-off, mid-on, cover, mid-wicket, backward point in position. Deep point also. This time again straying down the leg side. Just been the feature throughout this over so far. Rohit just playing off his legs and down towards fine leg for just another run. He moves on to 35. Dhawan on 39. Could Bangladesh have done anything different than they have? Because the Indian openers have batted very, very well.
Well, the point is that they needed to capitalize on that situation that he repaired. The two batsmen, the Tamin and the other guy who made
Mushfiqur Rahim,
who made 70 odd. And if they'd sort of seen them to some respectable total, somewhere around 260.
This time Hussain again outside the off stump, a bit of width. Dhawan just playing it to backward point. I mean, Bangladesh were on for 300, maybe a bit more than 300, but they didn't get there in the end. That's 12 overs gone, 74 for no loss. How deflating is it for a batting unit to say, okay, we could have got 300, we ended up with 265. What do we do?
Well, the point is that what happens is that you look at the pitch, and you know for sure, when you look at it and you sort of hit it with it, you know if it's hollow or if it's solid, and you know and you look at it and say if it's devoid of grass. Well, we had to get 300 odd here, and you try to play for that. Anything under 300, India, you know, you've got the batting talent to surpass such a total. So you have to get a total where they have to hurry and make, you know, play some shots that they wouldn't play normally.
Murtaza into his 7th over, perhaps going the extra mile. This time Fuller on the off stump. Rohit Sharma coming forward and defending it back to the bowler. 7th over for Mashrafe Mortaza, perhaps going that extra mile just to see if there might be a wicket available. I mean, Bangladesh do need a breakthrough.
Yes, and he's been a tower of strength for him, but you know he's getting to that age where probably this might be his last one. I'm not so sure, but he always does his work.
Well, we'll obviously want to play in the 2019 World Cup as well. This time, just back off length again on the off stump. The batsman standing on his back foot tall and drives it towards cover. No run added.
I think that might be a tour too far.
2019?
Yeah.
Just 2 summers away, that one also to be played in England. Bangladesh do have a lot of senior players. Mushfiqur Rahim has had captaincy experience, as does Shakib Al Hasan. They'll perhaps look to redo their ODI plans a bit more width outside the off stump. Again, back of length, Rohit Sharma cuts it away. It's a fielder in the deep. Just the 1 run then will be Shikhar Dhawan on strike. Rohit moves on to 36. Score is 75 for no loss. India have got the start that they wanted. No wickets lost, and they've been quick about their business as well.
And the thing about these guys who are at the crease at the moment, Rohit and Dhawan, they like big scores, and they wouldn't want to give their wickets away. I'm sure that they're looking to secure that position in the final.
Round the wicket comes Mashrafe Mortaza, again a slower delivery on the off stump. Fuller delivery, just pushed it towards the fielder at cover. Yes and no between Dhawan and Rohit there. Fielder at cover, just a bit of a misfield. In the end, the batsmen deciding that they did not want to take a run and risk their opening partnership, which is at the moment 75 of 76 balls. It's come at a run of ball. I mean, yes, India have had it easy. They've scored handsome shots. But I think, isn't it a bit more deflating that it's come and run a ball? We'll get some thoughts on that as Murtaza runs in to Dhawan. No slip in position, shot delivery. He's pulled it. Work for the fielder at fine leg. Gets there on the bounce. Just the 1 run added.
Well, that shows you how good the pitch is. And the quality of the bowling that they're facing at the moment. They can't exploit anything here because it's such a very good track. There's no grass. You know, there's no particular bounce because whenever they hit, their ball short is being hit in front of square. So they're picking the ball up early and they're not getting, you know, that steep bounce.
So, both the openers have been in good form as well. Murtaza from over the wicket. Again, slow delivery on the off stump, rising, but Rohit Sharma on his front foot pulls it straight to the fielder at square leg. Just a 1 run added. It's 13 overs gone then. 77 for no loss. Just a 3 from that last over. But India will not be worried about it at all. Current run rate 5.3. Required run rate less than that, just about 5 per over. 77 of 78 their partnership. Of course, there's nothing much in the pitch. Do you think they could have brought in a spinner early, entice the batsman into perhaps inducing a false shot?
Well, he's now coming on, Shakib, it seems.
Yeah, it's Shakib Al Hasan to bowl from the Birmingham end.
Well, I think when you look at a situation like this, you want to try things because it's pace not doing anything. You had to change bowlers around. You have to be inventive and try something. You might get a wicket or two, and then it might change the way things are going at the moment. But when you look at it, India quite happy at the moment. They have 222 balls to get 188 runs, so they really don't have to do anything silly to achieve the total.
Shakib Al Hasan will be bowling from the Birmingham end. As I pointed out, it'll be Rohit Sharma facing. 37 not out so far of 50 balls. He's had 5 fours in there. Pick of them, I would say. That square drive on the front foot, down on one knee of Mustafizur Rahim. Was it? I think so. But that was a glorious shot. This time, it's Shakib Al Hasan. Fuller delivery on the off stump, just on the back foot, and plays it down towards long on to start off with. 1 run for Rohit Sharma. We had extra cover, backward point, and the straightish point in position for Rohit. Change in field perhaps for Dhawan. Yes, fielder at square leg has gone deep. There's deep mid-wicket in position. There's mid-wicket and extra cover mid-off. There's a mid-off fielder because he's been called in from the deep. And we have both fine leg and third man up in the circle. Shakib Al Hasan bowling over the wicket to Shikhar Dhawan, who's facing on 40. Fuller delivery on the middle leg, and he's just turned it off his legs down towards the fielder at deep mid-wicket. Just the 1 run added.
The shot that I admired was Rohit off his hips through, flicking it past mid-wicket for 4. It was a terrific shot. And another thing, if you look at it, if you hit straight here, you will get runs.
Shorter boundaries here at Birmingham than say oval. This time again off into his pads from round the wicket, just turned it down to its fine leg, again up in the circle. No run added there. What's a tougher shot to play? Let's get some thoughts on that after this delivery. Shakib Al Hasan, this time Fuller on the off stump, drives past the fielder at extra cover. Fielder at long off will come into play, cuts it off. 2 runs in the meantime to Rohit, moves on to 40. What's a tougher shot to play?
A cover drive and an on drive. And if you keep playing those two, if you can play those shots quite easy, that means that you're in good nick.
And Rohit Sharma played both of them.
Right,
which
so
means he is in a terrific nick. Both the Indian openers in terrific nick at the moment. Shakib Al Hasan coming round the wicket to Dhawan, to Rohit, in fact, who's driven it again to the fielder at extra cover. A bit of a misfield there. They waited to see how he feels it. Because of the misfield, they were able to cross over for a run. He moves on to 41. Dhawan also on 41, facing Shakib Al Hasan from over the wicket. He's bowling from...
If you look at it now, the mid-off has come in.
Yeah.
Anything you hit straight, MRF tires, 4 runs.
The advert board there, as is the bat sticker for Shikhar Dhawan. Drives it down the ground to long on, just the 1 run to end the over. 6 from it. It's 14 overs gone, 83 for no loss. Shikhar Dhawan on 42. The partnership very easy. It's a sunny day in Edgbaston. Well, sunny afternoon, because it rained in the morning, just a tad delayed the game by 10 minutes. And the full crowd is totally seated. They are intrigued by this game, even though India have a wonderful chase on hand. 265 to get into the final and face Pakistan for the second time in this tournament. You're listening to ICC Champions Trophy 2017 on TalkSport 2 in the UK and Cricket Radio around the world. As I'm joined in, Sir Clive Lloyd leaves us for the moment, and I'm joined by England international Ian Bell. Easy for India so far.
Too easy, isn't it? And as you said, the weather's got nice in Birmingham, seeing the best of it, but also the best of Indian batting as well.
And Mashraf Mortaza into his 8th over now, none for 25. Surprising. Sir Clive Lloyd called that maybe his last over, but he's continuing from the pavilion end over the wicket, around the wicket to Shikhar Dhawan. No slip in position. He's played it back to the bowler. Surprised to see him in long spell.
It is a surprise. I thought that maybe they'd have gone probably double spin and tried something a little bit different. If it carries on like this, it's going to be too easy, isn't it, for India? So they need something to happen. They need to make something happen. whether that's double spin or just changing things up.
He isn't as quick as he used to be, is Mashrafe. To be bowling into his 8th over, not much trouble for the batsman. Again, we'll get thoughts on that. Fuller on the middle end leg, he's turned it towards mid-on. Not much pace, so it's easier for the batsmen who are now well set. 83 for no loss.
Yeah, you're right. I mean, unless he's carrying an injury and he doesn't think he can come back later in the day, it's one spell and he's done. That's the only thing I can really think of, really, than, like I said, not introducing or just changing something up.
Bangladesh do need to try something different, just mix it up a little perhaps, and try and get wickets. Mustafizur Rahman taken for runs from just 2 overs. He's bowled none for 21. That Taskin Ahmed again taken for runs. That perhaps could have also heaped pressure on Mashrafe. We'll get thoughts on that as he runs into Dhawan again. We have mid-off, mid-on, deep, mid-wicket and extra cover in position. Short delivery, swivels on the front foot and finds the gap between square leg and fine leg. The fielder is not able to cut it off. Short delivery, dispatched. Dhawan moves on to 46. It's 87 for no loss after his 7th boundary.
That was beautiful control. We saw him hit a beautiful pull shot for 6 earlier, but this one was real control. The fielder's in front of square and he's just placed it absolutely beautiful.
And again, Mashrafe Mortaz are not helped by the fact that you have Mustafizur Rahman and Taskin Ahmed gone for 42 runs in 4 overs. And as he's at the top of his mark, Dhawan facing, just 1 hit away from his half century. And, he's out! Fuller on the off stump, looked to play it down the ground, but thickish edge, bat twirled in his hand perhaps, and backward point coming into play. He's caught. Mosaddak taking the catch at backward point. Mashrafe Mortaza gets that wicket that he wanted. 46 of 34, 87 for 1.
Yeah, big moment. It's going to have to be a big 10 overs now for Bangladesh. Obviously, that's the start of it, but they're going to have to follow this up with some really tight bowling, but also try and get in a couple of wickets and then see if they can really try and put some pressure on India.
Could have been the 3rd consecutive time that Dhawan would have crossed a half-century mark in this tournament. Got a 50 against Pakistan. Got 100 against Sri Lanka, 50 against South Africa as well. 4th consecutive time, beg your pardon. But he's missed out this time. Loud cheer though.
He's been playing well, hasn't he? He played well in 2013 here in the Champions Trophy as well, so loves these conditions, and that's brilliant, I suppose, for India if they do get through as well to the final.
Big game player, averages more than 19 Champions Trophy, has 200s in the ICC World Cup as well. But now he's gone back into the hut for 46, and like I said, there was a loud cheer. Number 3 batsman, you know who it is, Virat Kohli.
It's the main man, isn't it? So again, he's a big game player. He'll want to do this and certainly put his stamp on this game when he going in, in big games like this. So looking forward to seeing what he's got. But again, this is a big time for Bangladesh. If they can get him early, all of a sudden be a little bit of nerves flying around in the India camp.
Got a sedate half century against South Africa the other day. Just played himself into form, if you can say that, for Virat Kohli. He was not timing the ball very well earlier in the innings, had a 5-ball duck against Sri Lanka as well, which was perhaps the difference between India getting 320 and 340. Here, he just needs to play like he played against South Africa. Nothing different, really.
Not really. If he bats enough time, faces 60 balls, India are going to be in a fantastic place. So there's no massive pressure, I suppose, on him in terms of run rates. But knowing and watching him play, he'll want to, like I said, stamp his authority on this game and play in his style.
What does Mortaza do here? Does he think, okay, should I bring in Mustafizur Rahman is their main bowler? Does he bring him back for another spell? Yes, he's gone for runs, but if he can get Virat out, that's a big blow for India.
They have to go. Whoever they feel is the best chance of getting Kohli out early is what they've got to do. Now's the time, not just to let this drift. You hear Brendan McCullum talk a lot about not letting the game drift away, make something happen, and I think that's what Bangladesh have to do right now. They have to throw it all in there now of the next 10 to 20 overs and see if they can cause a little bit of chaos.
Bit of a conversation there for the Bangladeshi players. Obviously, it's a drinks break. 14.4 overs gone, 87 for 1. The Indian batsmen are ready to go. But the Bangladeshi camp just having a bit of a long chatter. So physio has also come on. Just waiting and seeing what really is happening. Well, yes, they've dispersed now, so play will continue. So easy batting conditions, and again, it comes down to Bangladesh being a few short. Surprised that the way they faced Kedar Jadhav. Maybe I think that for me that was the turning point, the way they played him.
Yeah, I mean, whether they underestimated him or just took a little bit. He's not the frontline spinner. Maybe they just relaxed that little bit. But no, it's a huge part in the game, wasn't it? Those wickets really turned the momentum. They looked like Bangladesh were going to get 300, maybe even 310, which would have made a really good game of cricket. But yeah, they probably really are a bit short on the runs today.
And expectedly, as Mashraf Mortaza on the top of his mark, slip has been put in position for Virat Kohli, who's facing. We also have a backward point, extra cover, mid-off, mid-on. Mid-wicket is coming back into the circle. The fielder was stationed at deep square leg. We have fine leg, third man as well, and deep cover, of course. Mortaza from the pavilion end to Virat Kohli facing his first ball. Back of length, outside the off stump, he comes forward and defends it. Imperious average, that 54, 183 ODIs. You don't get to see that too often.
We don't. He's obviously a special player, isn't he? Obviously, we've got some world-class batters at the minute in 50 over cricket, but he's certainly the number one of all, of that list. He's a high-class performer, not just in India but all around the world.
Average of 54 in ODIs. Closing in on the 8,000 ODI run mark is Virat Kohli. Could be the quickest to do so after AB de Villiers. This time again, short of length, outside the off stump, bit more width, gets a bat on it and plays it to backward point. Well fielded there, no run added. Still to get off the mark is Virat Kohli, as that's the end of 15 overs. It's 87 for 1.
Yeah, fantastic. Just what Bangladesh needed, just that breakthrough. It's a really important 5 overs for them now. They have to really squeeze. The fielding has to be really sharp, and the bowling to back it up as well. So yeah, this is a game on now for Bangladesh. This is now or never.
For them, it is about this moment. They have to see if India take, because the wickets just fall on new batsmen. Obviously, it's Virat. He likes to milk singles and doubles in this stage of the game. So for them, it's important to just get on top, build some pressure, and get maybe 1, maybe 2 wickets.
100%. I think if they can get as well Rohit Sharma out here as well, and then have 2 guys that are on naught, all of a sudden that pressure starts. It's never easy for a new batter.
Shakib Al Hasan bowling to Rohit Sharma. Fuller on the off, he just cuts it. Fielder at backward point, got to it, totally missed it, and it's gone for 4 runs. Not the side that you want to see. Rohit Sharma moves on to 45. The score 91 for 1.
Yeah, that's just what we were talking about. That was pretty poor fielding there from Bangladesh, and they need to be right on it now. Can't give any free runs away. And that was just what we said. We've got to stop every single run they can now.
Was it Mortaza? I think it was Mortaza. I'm not sure though. This time again, past the fielder at backward point. Fielder at deep cover is a bit too straight. Should have been a bit squarer to stop that one. Consecutive 4s for Rohit. It's moved on to 49 now. 95 for 1.
Yeah, Rohit's playing the cover drive at the minute as well as anyone in world cricket. I saw a couple at the start of the seamer against the new ball, and now against the spinner.
Has a half century from earlier on in this tournament. Shakib Al Hasan to Rohit. This time Fuller on the middle and leg. He's driven it just past the non-striker. Crosses over for a single as the ball goes down towards long on. It's a half century for Rohit Sharma. Half century number 32 in ODI cricket. He too is a special player.
He is a world-class player. He's another one that when he gets in, he's lovely to watch. Makes the game look very, very easy. I've said already about his cover drive, but just makes batting look particularly easy, and someone that you'd love to go and watch on a regular basis.
That extra bit of time that he has, that's what stands out really, doesn't it?
It does, yeah. He plays some orthodox shots, but he's got a lot of power as well to go with that.
Virat Kohli on strike. He's still to get off his mark. Shakib Al Hasan bowling from the Birmingham end to Virat. This time, and he does get off the mark this time. Onto his back foot, just plays it down towards long on. Can do this all day, can Virat Kohli. Off the mark, like I said, 97 for 1.
Yeah, too easy that, wasn't it, for Kohli. Again, a world-class player, and they're going to really have to feel well, bowl tightly, and put a lot of pressure on.
Rohit on 50, facing this one. Just a tad down towards the leg side. He's played it off his pads and towards the square leg region. Just the 1 run, 98 for 1. If India looking comfortable, and if they do go on to win from here, tasty prospect of another India-Pakistan game in this tournament. This time, Fuller on the off stump, driven down the ground towards long off. That's the end of over number 16, 99 for 1. And Ian Bell with thoughts on a prospective India-Pakistan final, and Mark Saggers to take the commentary forward.
Yeah, wow, what a thought that would be. I don't know if they've met before in an actual ICC final, so what a opportunity. It's obviously a massive rivalry and great game, so that in a final that will be something special.
That certainly will be, won't it? Oh, it's a wonderful afternoon now here at Edgbaston. The sun is out, full house, and they're really enjoying what has been some quality batting, of course, as expected from India at the moment, still needing 166 from 204 deliveries, and they are well in control. Kohli and Rohit, that's exactly what you want, isn't it, if you're Bangladesh, chasing having sort of not got the score you wanted, and then you struggle to get your first wicket, and when you do, in comes Kohli.
Yeah, it's not looking too good, is it? And I think from India's point of view, they'd love to see him now, like I said, really get the grips of this game and play as one of his kind of innings, and that'd be a perfect way to go into a final.
Rugel's on his way then over the wicket, and he bowls, and it's a defensive push out to mid-on, and there's no run. Just to let you know, he's got to attack now, the Bangladeshi captain, and he has done. He's got a man at about third slip, and then he's got point mid-off, wide-ish, actually extra cover, really, saving a single. And then there's a mid-on. And another man mid-wicket. In fact, it's mid-off now, comes straight. They've just had a word with each other. And then we've got a long leg, we've got a deep square, and we've got a man patrolling on the cover boundary. On his way once more, and bowls just wide, and is driven through the gap at extra cover, placed so well. Once more, he's got so much time, this man, and Kohli moves on to 3, and that's India's 100. 100 for 1, 16.2 overs. They have a run rate of just over 6, and they are well in control. 98 deliveries, nearly a run a ball, and they're just a bit too good.
Certainly are, aren't they, on a good batting service? I think we knew at a halfway point it wasn't enough runs, and India again are showing why they're top order again. It's as good as anyone in world cricket, and when they're on their day, it's fantastic to watch.
Away from us here at the pavilion then, Rugel's on his way, and he bowls once more, and this time Rohit is up on his toes and just guides it into the slip area, and in the end it's the wicketkeeper has to come around and do the fielding, not before they get another single. 101 for 1 in the 17th over. What you like about the very best in the game, and I'll put you there as well, is when you're in form, you're so still and you just have so much time.
Yeah, I mean, just watching Rohit there as well. I mean, that's a really good delivery. Top of off stump, he's just played it a little bit later, just runs down a third man for 1. It just looks so easy.
Kohli waits now, and this one's short, and again he just flicks it off his hip. He's unhappy with that. He wanted to whip that further round between the long on and the deep square, but he's got another single. Practices the shot again. 102 for 1 from 17 overs. I think I'd have been happy with that. Controlled it beautifully.
Controlled it down a fine leg for 1, and he's wanted to get a boundary, didn't he? So I think it says exactly what he expects from himself. But you just see with his body language, he wants to do something today. He wants to get out there and lead from the front.
So they're 102 for 1, chasing 265 to win, and they are in complete command at the moment. Away from us, and Rohit is up on his toes and just pushes it out defensively on the onside. There'll be no run. Man's in very quickly from mid-wicket. Bangladesh, if they were to have a chance, really needed to take early wickets, or somehow, and it is so difficult to stop this Indian side continually scoring runs. And there's never been a stage that they've even gotten slightly frustrated, I'm afraid.
No, you're right. They had to be at the top of their game in that first 10 overs with the ball. Had to strike early. Certainly want to see the back of Kohli as well if they had a chance, and they've allowed India to get a real nice platform here and some really good plays to come.
Now it's a fuller length delivery, and he plays it out on the onside, digs it out. In fact, it was a decent delivery. It was straight, full, and there is no run. I think that this tournament has been a wonderful tournament. End of the over, by the way, 102 for 1. It's been a magnificent tournament, and seeing the full house here today, and the Bangladeshi fans have come out alongside the Indians. There's going to be an amazing atmosphere, whoever gets to the final to take on Pakistan. And I like the format that, I know we've had a bit of rain around, but all over logistically in 18 days.
Yeah, it has, and it's had a lot of surprises as well. There's been some really good games. It looks like one of those you turn up to a game and anyone can beat anyone, which is brilliant. But you're right. I mean, from day one, it's been a really good tournament, hasn't it? And it's kept everyone coming into the grounds with, looking forward to every game of cricket, and it really has. I've enjoyed every minute of watching it. And like I said, there's been a lot of surprises as well.
Going to look forward to this change of bowling down at the Birmingham end. The Fizz, Mustafa Fizur, is back on. He's had 2 overs so far, but he's gone for 10.5 and over, and he's got to do a little bit better, certainly against Kohli, who's waiting now on 4. 3 men saving a single on the offside, 2 mid-wicket, and then a mid-on as well. He comes in over the wicket, bowls, and Kohli beautifully times this again. It goes straight. Thrown down the wicket at the non-striker's end, but absolutely no problem with Rohit. Very much in his ground. And the elegance of this man batting as well. It's one of those things that's sort of food for the eyes. If you love your cricket, you love your batting, because just watching him now, he's had a good look round the offside, thinking what he's going to do. There's just a man at backward point, and then there's the big gap down to third man. And then comes Fizz again, and this time he just pushes it out on the offside through extra cover. The man has to come in from the boundary, and he's just happy enough for the single. 103 now it is for 1, and he just moves on to 5. Haven't seen anything expansive from him just yet. And, again, just allowing the more dominant partner at the moment, just seeing his way in. He's obviously fancying he wants to be here at the end, so he's just letting Rohit, carry on with what he's doing. Rohit 52. Good first innings, first wicket partnership as well. That surprisingly came to an end, but Fizz is on his way once more. That's a slower ball, and that's just, again, beautifully timed through extra cover. There's going to be 2. Didn't quite get his length right there with that slower ball. Didn't really confuse Rohit. It's moved on to 54 and 105 for 1.
Yeah, he picked it nicely and played it, controlled it, but his offside play has been fantastic. Against the seamers, but also against the spinners as well. His driving has been as good as any driving you can see.
Just a little bit of a change here, and it was one that really, in a way, they had to make, although they'll bring the man into a catching position, trying to stop that gap at extra cover. Not far off in line of a wideish mid-off, and then there's the man just in front on the edge of the circle, and a man at backward point as well. So he's got to keep slanting this ball across. Left arm over, he comes in again and bowls. And this time it's Rohit just up on his toes and defensively pushes it out on the offside. You get to this sort of stage as we are now, we're still very much in the early stages of this innings. And the run rate is exactly 5 now at this moment. 160 needed to win, but they can take their time, they can pick their moments. And really, it's up, I think, for Bangladesh to try and make something happen, but it's not going to be easy. Once more, Safir is on his way, ball's on the leg stump, and it's just pushed behind square. Man in from long on, another single, and it's as comfortable as you like at the moment.
It does. I mean, India just look like they're cruising, don't they? But you also know both of these batters have gears that if they want to take it up a notch, and I'm sure they will sense a moment when they want to go in for the kill. But I'm sure they want to start this partnership, build it to a level, and then they'll put the foot on the gas and start taking Bangladesh on.
Well, Gary Barwell, he's got a decent wicket out of this today, hasn't he? I'm really pleased about that after yesterday. It's got that nice white, when the sun's out, nearly a sheen on it as well. And
white ball cricket, I mean, when we have 50 over games here, I mean, the wickets are fantastic.
Absolutely. He's on his way once more over the wicket and bowls, and again here it was a bit of an ambitious shot. I think he got hurried onto it in the end leg. Rohit, he wanted to play it through mid-wicket. He's decided that that's the end of this bat. Another one split. He's called for another one at the end of the over, and well, the rate is just under 5 runs at the moment. India 106 for 1, chasing 265. You're listening to TalkSport 2 and Cricket Radio, exclusive global partners of the ICC Channel 2 group, and here is Ian Bell.
Yeah, I mean, Bangladesh have got a lot to do here. They're going to have to do something in the next 5 to 10 overs. Certainly going to take 2 or 3 wickets, and everything's going to have to go their way. But at the minute, India look absolutely, walk into the final.
Yeah. Would you have tried the combination of 2 spinners at one stage just for something different, just to see if they will get a lack of concentration? Or
I think it
like
possible. I mean, we saw that with India, didn't they? They certainly went to double spin through that middle because it looks such a good wicket. Any pace on it, you only have to be slightly off as a bowler, and the batters we've seen, they take full runs off the pace. So a bit of change of pace, make it as slow as possible, and try and make the batter do all the work.
Rubel Hassan is on his way then from the pavilion end. It's short, it's cut, slightly uppishly, didn't make any difference. It's well fielded down there at third man. And in fact, in the end, they've only gone through for the single. So Rohit moves on to 56, and Kohli wants a bit of the action.
It looks like he said, we can get to, but I want a bat.
Exactly. Yeah. I'm staying here. Now, there's a deep square, there's a long leg, there's a mid-wicket and a mid-on, and the 3 men saving the single in the orthodox positions on the offside, trolling the cover boundary, deep third man. Just at the start of this man's run, Rubel, he just takes a bending. In fact, I'm glad they're trying this. He's bringing in a close catcher into the slips. It'll be about third slip for Kohli, who waits now, just bends down, doesn't he? Crouches, just stretches his back, and now he's on his way, right arm over, bowls, and Kohli's up on his toes and plays it to mid-on, looks towards the mid-wicket area, then shapes as if he might well want to play the shot behind square as well too. Takes a little walk across the crease, looks around the crowd, sees a lot of his supporters there. They want to see a big innings from him today, just to set it all up nicely for Sunday at the Oval. Pakistan away. Oof. Some noise, some action.
Wow, that's going to be incredible. Yeah, ICC final to see Pakistan versus India would be something special.
Good. Bangladesh still, though, while there's hope and overs, they'll see what they can do. On his way, wants more balls. This time, Kohli just more of a wristy shot out on the offside. Again, trying just to coax it past the inner field. Didn't do so, and there is no run.
It's still good to see Bangladesh here with a slip to Kohli. It's easy to back off somebody like Kohli. I think the only way back into this game is by taking wickets, but it's good to see them, taking that aggressive step, moving one of the fielders from the ring and sticking him in at slip, which is, I think it's good to see.
Just a little difficult for them with it being such a good wicket as well, though, to try and look for that false stroke by bringing in the extra man. It looks good, and it's just a short, and he's basically tennis shotted this with a short arm jab and pull through wide of long on, and they'll come back for 3 runs. He just stood there really and flat batted that as if he was nearly doing an underarm serve, but practices the shot again, and 3 more runs. He moves on to 8, and Rohit back to 56. Did you ever play? Did you play that one these days? Did you play that in Perth at all?
Not quite that. No, I might have gone over the keeper for 1 bounce 4 or something like that, but not quite like that. But I think this is where we're seeing, obviously, those wickets that India got in the middle are so crucial. If Bangladesh got 310, 300, there's a lot more pressure on India now. But the way that they fielded and got those wickets has made it a bit more comfortable for these batters.
Rohit works on 56, short, pulled just behind square, and there's absolutely no chance of cutting that one off. 4 more for Rohit. Lovely shot again with full power, total control, and he moves on to 60, and India 114 for 1 in the 19th.
Yeah, I mean, his cover driving has been absolutely beautiful. His offside play, but that again slightly short, and he's just swiveled Ricky Ponting like there and just hit it behind square, and it's very hard to bowl out at the minute. And he said the longer these guys stay at the crease, India's batting lineup going into the next stage of this competition looks pretty dangerous.
It does as well, and Rohit's now 60 from 66 deliveries. Once more, it's Rubel on his way from the pavilion end, bowls short again, and this is flicked away to where that third slip actually was for his partner Kohli, but there's nobody there now, and it's gone all the way down to the boundary. It was uppish, but a wristy shot. He knew that he was fair enough and steered it beautifully. Let the pace of the pitch and the delivery just take it on its way. End of the over, 118 for 1 now from 19, and India completely in control here.
Yeah, I mean, that was a poor delivery. Obviously gave him a lot of width. Obviously it probably didn't go where he wanted to, but as you said, there's been a lot of pace and bounce in this pitch. Probably a wicket that England would have loved yesterday, but you get plenty of rewards for that. And as I said, Rohit Sharma's looking fantastic.
He certainly is, and it's also a wicket that, unlike yesterday, that if you really get in, you get in, don't you? You can play.
Yeah, it's certainly that kind of place edge Baston we've seen. I mean, it's a great place to bat, especially when the sun's out and a wicket like this. And sometimes, again, I know the seamers are running and trying to do that. The faster it comes, sometimes the better it is as a batter. That's why maybe two spinners would be a good option.
Fizz on his way to Kohli. He's up on his toes, just plays it away behind square on the onside. Runs it very quickly there for a single. Just wondering if there might have been any sort of mistake coming back for 2. There wasn't. And just adds another run to his total. He's on to 9, and India 119 for 1.
He's desperately trying to get the strike, isn't he? He's charging 2s and turning when he's on strike. So he wants to certainly cause some damage out there.
He does. Well, his partner has been there from the very start, has certainly done that at the moment. Rohit waits now. He's on 64 as Mustafizur comes in, left arm over the wicket, bowls. Good delivery across the right-hander. Just plays it defensively up on the offside. And on this occasion, there's no run. It's a full house today. It wasn't first thing. The cloud had come in for a little while. Perhaps a little drizzle we didn't expect, but it's made absolutely no difference. I think the key there as well, that we didn't start the game, which has not been any stop-start, which I think was important for both sides, and certainly here for Bangladesh. Once more then, Fizz is at the end of his run from the Birmingham end. He bowls, and this is a wider delivery, and it's not quite timed out on the offside, possibly just again reaching for it a little bit, looking more to place it, I thought, that time. Give his captain again the strike, you know. No, he's as selfish as they come, and why not? He's got to be at the moment. 119 for 1 if you're just joining us here on TalkSport 2 and Cricket Radio. It's a glorious afternoon now on this Thursday in June. And Bangladesh with it all to do. India 119 for 1. And Fizz is on his way, and this is just guided down to third man. Another single. 120 now for 1. And Rohit on 65. And Kohli back on strike.
Probably what everyone wants to see as well, isn't it? Kohli getting runs, but yeah, this Indian batting lineup when it's going is probably the best to watch in the world. So like I said, I'm sure Pakistan will be watching this as well, hoping Bangladesh can knock over a few more of these Indian players, but it's looking good for India right now.
Certainly is. I mean, that's been the thing, hasn't it? They haven't really got through this Indian front line. It's a beautiful drive all the way, sweetly timed, straight back past the bowler for 4. Knew exactly what he was doing with that. Once more, great timing, wonderful shot. He moves on to 13, the Indian captain, Kohli, and India did 124 now for 1, still needing only another 141 from 181 balls.
Yeah, absolutely beautiful. I think I saw Sharma play one at the start of the innings. You know, as a batter, when you're hitting the ball down the ground like that, everything's right. Your head, your footwork, your balance is absolutely perfect. Otherwise, you can't do that. So it's good to see that kind of shot from Kohli.
Well, it's not gone Mustafizur's way, has it, at all today? In his 4th over, he's already conceded 31. He's over the wicket once more, and it's a short ball, and just ducked under by the batsman through the keeper. End of the over. 141 needed now from 180 delivered. Rohit is 65 not out. Kohli is on 13, and India in complete control. And alongside me is a man who would like to have will have been enjoying this. Ravi Shastri is back. Ravi, what do you think about this? This is great, isn't it, at the moment?
Oh, it's
for India.
It's great to watch. I don't think the Bangladesh attack have the penetration at the moment for this surface. These are superb batting conditions. You're up against a quality lineup, and once they've got off to a start, very rarely will India mess it up from here.
Well, that's such a good point that you made, because Kohli's come in, he hasn't tried to do anything silly. He's let Rohit continue on in the way he has. He's just there at the moment, building his innings as well, just to make sure there's not any silly loss of 2-3 wickets suddenly, which gives Bangladesh some hope. This is winners' cricket, the way they're playing this at the moment. So once more from this pavilion end, Rubel is on his way, and he bowls to Rohit, who's just again guiding a wideish delivery down to third man, all the time in the world, through for another single.
That's a very good point you make, because I think that's the biggest difference you're seeing with Virat Kohli, over the last 3-4 months. He's giving himself more time at the crease. It's not that he, wants to get out there and announce himself straight away. He's decided to respect the conditions, try and make sure his sheer presence there in the middle is there, not to rattle the dressing room. If he's there, for 10 runs or the first 20 minutes or so, he's got a great cricketing mind, a great reader of the game. He knows how to adapt. Then
Rubel on his way past us, bowls, and this time it's flicked off square, off his hip, just for a single, beautifully timed down to deep square. Another run for Kohli. He moves on to 14. I think actually that this Indian side, they do look so magnificent at the moment, and the way that they play this white ball cricket. But here as well, just now and again, when they fancied themselves to put on a show when they haven't needed to, has been a bit of a vulnerability. But if the rest of the side watch Kohli come in and do this, then that firms all of that up as well, doesn't it?
Absolutely.
Once more, it's Rubel on his way, and he bowls, and Rohit is forward and just defensively pushes it back down the wicket. Not an awful lot Bangladesh can do here at the moment either, Ravi, is it? They can't, really, it's not a case of attacking or even a waiting game.
Yeah, it's a case of India throwing it away from here. It's very difficult for Bangladesh. They can afford to be patient, hope for India to be complacent, play a couple of loose shots, try and get them into the contest again. Doesn't look like happening, though.
No, it doesn't at the moment. Rubel's at the end of his run, that small little stretch, and then he's on his way and he bowls, and once more it's just guided down to third man by Rohit. Just eases the ball with the full face of the bat, and all the timing and all the time as you like. The three men saving a single on the offside and two on the on, and really from here I think there's a bit of anticipation still in this crowd, though, with a lot of Indian supporters, that they know the way this is going. At some stage, they're waiting now for the gear change.
And they'll see that in a little while, but there's no need for that at the moment.
Absolutely not. 127 for one, just in the 21st over at the moment. Their run rate well over 6, and this time, once more, Kohli is up on his toes, just finds the gap so well, down to just in front of point. And extra cover down to the boundary and just through for another single. The
point you were making, about him taking time. I think whenever someone like a Virat Kohli or many years ago Sachin Tendulkar came out to bat, the whole intensity on the ground, in the crowd, would go up by a couple of notches, because it's a top player at the crease who has the flair, has the game to entertain.
Rubel's on his way from the pavilion, and he bowls a full-length delivery. It's driven on the onside. It's fielded. There is no run, and that's the end of the over. And India now requiring 137 from 174 balls. Rohit is 67. Kohli is 15, 128 for one, and in complete control.
Yeah, and when that intensity goes up, at times as a player, when you're young, when you don't have that kind of maturity, you play to the gallery, and you'll have a fast bowler running in, trying to bounce you. You want to take him on, and suddenly a side that's cruising loses another couple of wickets, and you open up the game for the opposition. Now that's an area Virat Kohli has tightened up on.
Yeah,
he's learned from his mistakes in the past, and he realizes, how big a player is and how important it is, to just keep the dressing room settled and calm.
I think as well, with the one reverse that they've had in this tournament, they learned from that too, didn't they? I think that was actually, funnily enough, important for this Indian side.
I think in these tournaments, a little kick up the backside early on when you're complacent, helps, and it woke up the Indian team. There's no doubt about that. It just woke up the Indian team. They were pushed into a corner where they had to beat South Africa to make it to the semi-finals, and they produced very good cricket.
Well, Kohli is out there at the moment now, just surveying the field. There's a couple of changes to it as well. There's going to be 4 men on the offside saving the single within the circle, and now just the one at mid-on. Nothing else from mid-on right the way round, so just the man deep square just in front and also at long on, as Mustafa Fizur going to probably drop 1 or 2 short now as well if he can, but this one's a full-length delivery through mid-wicket all the way along the ground. No chance of anybody cutting that off, and an absolutely superb shot. He moves on to 19. Enjoyed that one.
It's not an easy shot to play. The balance has to be so good. A lot of batsmen attempting that shot tend to fall over and miss it. Play it a lot squarer, but nothing wrong with that. Beautiful balance. Played it late. Superb placement.
Waits once more as Mustafa Fizur is on his way from the Birmingham end, bowls to the Indian captain, and this time there's just as good a shot on the other side through the offside. extra cover, and the fielder there down on the boundary had to make 5 strides and couldn't get anywhere near it. And suddenly the gear change is in. Kohli has raced on to 23, and India now needing just 129 from 172.
And without taking any risks, that for me probably the shot of the day. You know, that peed off the back. Hit that fence like a tracer bullet, that one. The fielder, a deep point, he had no chance whatsoever. Again, great stride forward, good balance. So he's hit one in the mid-wicket area and then in the cover area.
And in complete control, which was absolutely... It's coming around the wicket now, Mustafa Zur. What can he do this time? Just trying to change the angle. What he does do is he just makes Kohli again just hit it slightly uppishly on the onside, steers it though into the vacant position there. No one's saving a single, and just quietly goes through for another run.
Terrific shots in this over.
Classic shot as well, that one through extra cover, wasn't it?
Oh, in full flight, Virat Kohli.
Well, he's moved on to 24, but it's his partner Rohit who has been very much the strength of the early part of this innings, which was important to make sure that Bangladesh didn't get any sort of a chance. And staying around the wicket bowls, and it's short, and again it's dabbed down into about third slip, and there's no run. Ravi Shastri.
Yes, it's great to watch. And then Rohit Sharma again. You know what's good? He's been in good form. He's not wasting good form. I like that with Shikhar Dhawan as well. You know, so these two openers, a lot depends on them. When India won the Champions Trophy 4 years ago, these two, Rohit Sharma and Shikhar Dhawan, got India off to flyers and good starts, solid starts. And now the fact that you've got Kohli in form as well is perfect from India's point of view.
And daunting for Bangladesh today, and possibly for Pakistan at the Oval on Sunday. Fizzes round the wicket once more and bowls, and once more just defensively pushed back down. The bowler fields no run.
He's so easy on the eye. Rohit Sharma has so much time. He is all the shots in the book, and yet they are different players. You know, Virat Kohli very wristy. You know, he gets the bottom hand into play. Rohit Sharma more out of a coaching manual.
I've loved the way that both of them have worked and are able to do that on a pitch like that. I mean, this is a good pitch for this game. It's a good wicket, and it's once more Fizz not perhaps seeing it that way at the moment. Round the wicket from the Birmingham end, and again it's just pushed out through extra cover. It avoids the fielder. Beautifully timed once more. 2 more for Rohit. And he moves on to 69, and it's India 139 for 1 at the end of the 22nd over, and they are well on their way to reaching the final, needing 126 from 180 balls. Here's Ravi Shastri, and then it'll be Talk Sports, John.
Yes, very professional in their performance today, the Indians, especially in this chase. They did well to restrict Bangladesh to 264, and now they've not put a foot wrong in this chase. They've been ahead of the run rate. They've got the boundaries without taking too many risks. They put the loose balls away, and at the moment both these batsmen complementing each other extremely well. 52 of just 44, and both well set.
Absolutely, Ravi Shastri. Tell you what, those 2 drives in the last over from Virat Kohli, the first one through mid-wicket and then the second through extra cover, I think even the Bangladeshi fans would have sat back and thought, you know what, I recognise our cricket shot to enjoy, even when it's coming against my own team and when it's helping them get knocked out.
Oh.
Wow.
That's one for you,
well,
John.
there's another one. Virat Kohli again, beautifully driven, squarer actually than the extra cover drive we saw in the last over, but just as perfect and easy on the eye.
That's magnificent batting. Struck on the up and a massive stride forward as he leans into it. Everything right about the shot. Placement good. Struck with tremendous power once again.
Well, the batsmen are enjoying this pitch, that's for sure. Happy to hit through the line of the ball. As Kohli this time targets mid-wicket. See, he's got an extra cover mid-wicket. This won't reach the boundary, but he will get 3 runs for it, although I think part of him would have been happy to take 2 and just keep hold of strike. 146 for 1 now, India. We're only in the 23rd over. This is an absolute treat and a masterclass.
Yeah, last 10 balls, he's just showing you how to play in the Wii.
Absolutely.
Extra cover, mid-wicket. Mid-wicket, extra cover.
You know, when at times it's seen as a weakness, isn't it? Just playing in the V. In the modern game, it's all about moving around the crease and, you know, ramps and dill scoops and hoisting it over your left shoulder. But when you can play as gracefully and as accurately as this man is showing us today, well, Rohit Sharma, though, now on the pull. Short delivery, and it's played out to deep square leg. 147 for 1. I mean, I struggle to think of two better looking batsmen at the crease than Rohit Sharma and Virat Kohli. When they're on song together, you know, just sit back and enjoy, really.
Absolutely. It's you get your money's worth, you know, for the ticket you paid, and he's the master of the chase, Virat Kohli. He just sizes up the situation so quickly.
Absolutely, the undoubted master of the chase. Maybe Rohit Sharma shades things when it comes to the big score, but there's nothing really in it. Kohli just drops this into the onside. There's plenty of gaps now, and this has been the problem for Bangladesh. You know, there have been singles all over the pitch for India, and but also the 4 balls as well.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons why he's so difficult to bowl to. And he doesn't need to take that calculated risk or extra risk, because he rotates the strike beautifully. Very risky player. He's very busy. If you can see now, already going at quicker than a runner ball, 32 of 24.
Well, he changed his game as well, didn't he, Virat? You know, he was at the non-strikers end, watching the likes of Dhoni and Yuvraj Singh. Just, well, cut away beautifully. Rohit Sharma. I mean, that's just a delectable shot from the opening bat. Just leaning back and just carving this ball back behind backward point. There was a fielder at third man, but it was hit with such graceful timing. As soon as it left the bat, you knew it was going all the way to the boundary. It didn't whistle there. It was just timing all the way, and again another classic boundary for India and Rohit Sharma. Going back to Virat Kohli, I mean, you tell me. I think maybe he was dazzled by the 6-hitting exploits of the more muscular, powerful batsman at the other end, but realised that's not his game.
No.
Doesn't matter if you hit it 1 row back or 10 rows back. Cut away, this time in front of point, and it's another boundary to Rohit Sharma. You know, I've seen A.B. de Villiers and Virat Kohli playing for the Royal Challengers Bangalore, and it's almost a case of, you know, whatever you can do, I can do better. But to watch a semi-final of an ICC event, 2 batsmen at the top of their game, going at their shots like we've seen at the moment, it's an absolute joy. India, 156 for 1one, and we've only had 23 overs of play.
And they're matching the shot for shot at the moment. You saw 2 cut shots in that over. One was delicate, it had the deft touch, and the second one was brutal, hit in front of square with tremendous power. And that's why Rohit Sharma, he does make batting look easy, and you won't not notice him, even with Kohli in full flow. If Rohit Sharma is there at the crease, you can't help but notice him, which is a great compliment and a tribute.
I mean, I suppose with Rohit Sharma, I can't think of a batsman in the world who looks like he's got more time on the ball than he. Virat Kohli, those all about touch and timing. Not that Sharma doesn't have that, because of course he does, but maybe in the V it's Kohli, and square of the wicket it's Sharma. But hey, these two can do it all, can't they?
Never hurried. You know, I've seen quick bowlers run in and pound it into him, and he has so much time. Must irritate them as well when someone has so much time to play you when you're steaming in and bowling at over 140 clicks.
Pakistan beware. Again, another good-looking cut just backward of square for a single. 157 for 1. Mossadegh has been brought in at the Birmingham end, and really his captain, well, I'll tell you what his captain wants. He wants to see what happened against New Zealand when Mossadegh took 3 wickets in 4 overs. And that turn of events is the only thing that's really going to help Bangladesh, as Rohit Sharma just misses out here a little bit. Just crashes one at short extra. There's a misfield, and he comes through for a single. He's 79, Virat Kohli 33. And India 158 for 1, so the target now down to 107. This is played up to long on for another single.
You can just see the body language of the Bangladesh fielders. You know, they're resigned to the fact that, you know, India has to do something silly. to even allow them an entry into the door.
Mossadegh is in again. This time is played up to short extra. There'll be no run. Yeah, you're absolutely right, Ravi. There was one of the boundaries a few overs ago, and I just watched the three fielders on the offside, and they kind of walk back to the edge of the circle as Mossadegh is in, and this is, wow, symptomatic, I think, of the malaise that's affecting now Bangladesh. The fielder has Mortaza has just jumped over one at short extra, so it's another run. But yeah, they walk back, and short long leg, short fine leg, had his hands on it in his pockets, played into the leg side this time by Virat Kohli. Cover point was kind of studying the crowd, and mid-off was just looking up at the big screen, and you just got the feeling that they needed to get off to a good start, and as soon as they got past the first 6 overs or so, India got off to a flyer. They knew that possibly their game was done.
And they'll also be thinking, the batsmen who got out after getting set, they'll be thinking, we should have got 310. We were in a position to do that. We played some silly shots, and 264, it was only for India to lose it from there. Can't help but get the feeling Bangladesh, with the attack they have, when they would have had to have India at 30 for 3 to create some problems.
Taskin Ahmed is going to be brought back on at the pavilion end. I mean, a lot said about how much one-day cricket India play. Actually, they haven't played a lot of one-day cricket in the last 6 months, have they? They haven't played since the series with England, which they won, with the Test series against Australia, and then the IPL. This is the first match in the best part of half a year, actually.
Yeah, but they're all match fit because of the IPL. They had to play for their franchises, so.
Taskin Ahmed is up and underway. He's going to bowl his third over of the game, and he gets an inside edge from the bat of Virat Kohli, back past the stumps, well outside off stump. It would have been a bit of a very unlucky way to go, but just like when Taskin was bowling earlier on. Actually, for the first over, he kept things tight. He was asking questions of the batsman. We should just see. He's a confident chap. He's got some pace about him as well.
And he has the knack of taking wickets.
He's a wicket-taking bowler, that's for sure. And he's in again. Very close to the umpire, and this is played nicely on his toes. Through square on the offside for a single. And Virat 36, Rohit 80, the score 162 for 1. And this really is, if it continues in this vein, perfect preparation for India ahead of what could be an absolute grandstand final against the old enemy, Pakistan.
Unbelievable.
Taskin in again. It's close to the stumps again, and this is just played down comfortably into the onside this time. He's getting a little bit more pace out of this, or a little bit more bounce out of this wicket, but comfortable. It's an even pace, and all the fields really set back on the circle, so there's singles wherever these Indian batsmen want them, really.
And they don't need to take the risk. They're going so nicely at the moment. 6.65 the run rate at the moment, which means the required rate is just 4 runs and over from here.
Taskin turns again and runs away from us, positioned high up in the box of the pavilion end, and Virat Kohli comes in. There's a bit of width there, but in the end decides against playing. The ball goes through to the keeper. I suppose Bangladesh, though, will look back at this tournament and see it as a successful one, if it is to end here. Arguably, I mean, we don't know what we're about to see here, with a nod to that innings between Ben Stokes and Owen Morgan at this very grounds, the one between Mahmudullah and Shakib Al Hassan, chasing down the New Zealand score as Ahmed comes up to the crease now, bowls on just back of a length, really. It's a shortish delivery which Virat is quickly onto with the pull, and he'll take another single. So they got through the group stage, which in itself was a success when they were coming up against the likes of New Zealand, England and Australia. They were ranked number 8, so coming in, few gave them a chance of progression, so they got through to the semi-final. But for India, the holders, anything with such elevated expectations back home, anything less than a win, I guess.
Yeah,
and even then Ahmed in again, touch fuller, and Rohit. Oh, swish of the bat there in frustration because he was tempted into an expansive drive, but doesn't connect, and it's a dot ball to finish what's been a decent over for Bangladesh. Just 3 runs from it at the halfway stage of the chase. Well, India well ahead of the rate needed. 164 for 1, so they need 101 from 150 deliveries.
Yes, they will not relax. They know that it's Pakistan in the final, and that itself puts pressure on a side. It'll help them focus. It'll tell them we're right on top at this stage. We are up for the game on Sunday. Let's carry on doing what we're doing in a real professional manner. So they've just not allowed Bangladesh into this contest as yet, India.
There's a similarity to the South Africa game insofar that Kohli applied the squeeze at the mid-innings point of that innings, and South Africa capitulated in much the same way that Bangladesh did today. As Mossadegh is back, and Virat Kohli just comfortably playing back to a delivery that was angled in on the pads, and he just chips this into the onside for another single.
And it's good from Virat Kohli's point of view as well, John, because it's his first Champions Trophy as captain.
Yeah.
If you can see his team into the final, he'll be mighty pleased with that. He's only going to get better.
Mossadegh is in again, just quite wide on the crease. Rohit Sharma just taking a single backward a square for another single. Yes, he's always doing something, isn't he, Kohli?
Very proactive, yeah.
Never ever see the game drift, whether it's Test cricket, T20 or ODIs. Mossadegh in again is a round arm action, and this has just been placed through the covers for a boundary by Virat Kohli. He just opened his body up and didn't try and overhit, going back to what we were saying earlier. He just almost picked the pocket, and he gets another 4. Graceful and beautiful, and he moves to 42. He's going at a strike rate of 127. But that's another proper cricket shot in the V, and no run from this one on this occasion. That delivery from Mossadegh, from our viewpoint, it didn't look to be particularly wide. There was no real width there, but Kohli just clicked his fingers, and it's 4 runs from the bat. And again, this time just big step forward and whips the ball to long on for another single. 171 for 1.
Yes, he sets high standards, and even as captain, you can see he's in your face type of captain. If you're an opponent, you'll notice that.
Last ball of Mossadegh's over, and it's another run from the bat of Rohit Sharma, who'll take strike for the first ball of the 27th over. The score 172 for 1, the target 265, so the target now under 100 runs. 93 needed from 144. I mean, what was he like when you were director of the Indian cricket team? What was he like to, did he come to you for advice? Was he a good sounding board? Was he always throwing around ideas? It just seems like an absolute dream of a captain to have, insofar that every day it'll be 100% professionalism.
Yes, he would have lots of chats, because when I took over as director, he'd had a miserable tour of England, and the team was in the dumps, but there was no shortage of hard work. There was no shortage of self-belief when it came to Virat Kohli. And, he put in the hard yards in the nets. He had to make a few adjustments. He had to be, work on that line that a lot of bowlers bowled to him outside the off stump. And he got it right. And come Australia, he was reeling off 100 after 100. 400s in the series, which was quite unbelievable.
Taskin Ahmed is in return for his second over. Right arm fast over the wicket, and this is played to backward point. No run, 172 for 1. I suppose it's the only blot. I mean, what player doesn't have a blot when your standards are so high? India tour England 2018. 5 Test series, I believe.
Next year, yes.
Next year. I mean, how much of a burning desire is it for him just to set the record straight?
He will give anything for a Test 100 in England.
Ahmed is in very close to the stumps again, and this is nicely played by Rohit. Fielded though at extra cover. No run, 172 for 1. I mean, he's not the first, and he won't be the last batsman to have a average season. in an English summer. But the way that the two boards seem to be very, very close knit at the moment, BCCI and the ECB. I'm sure he's going to have plenty of opportunities to right a wrong. Ahmed is rushing in, touch fuller, and again watchful from Rohit.
Much better length. Just a little further up, gives the ball a chance to do something more. Just felt Bangladesh were really on the shorter side with the new ball. Trying to push the Indians back, and they paid the price. Plenty of pulls and cuts where they should have been looking to get the ball a little further up and
the batsman coming forward
and draw the batsman forward.
Yes, you're right, because Shikhar Dhawan is in such good form. He's so strong, square of the wicket. Again, it's just a much better probing length from Taskin Ahmed, and the batsman is coming forward, but with respect to a batsman who's 83 not out from just 91 balls. It's just I don't know, he's just treading slightly carefully against Taskin. He's not far from 100, and he doesn't want to do anything rash.
No, I like Taskin. He's a good trier. Whenever I've seen him, he's a wholehearted bowler, gives us everything.
He is indeed, and he's in again. But this is slashed by Rohit Sharma. It was aerial, but in control. A little bit of width from the bowler. Third man filled. So Rohit Sharma moves to 84. Virat Kohli 43. And the score 173 for 1. Yeah, this India side has just beaten Australia in a wonderful Test series. But I suppose we're all, as this cricket family, we all watch from afar. We appreciate the successes, but we also wonder what next. As Taskin Ahmed, again, very close to the wicket. That's a full toss. Played up to mid-on. The next task after a wonderful summer for India is to see how they can fare away in England and of course Australia. The last two, the final frontiers really, and maybe for a very quick word on that, Ravi Shastri, and then I'll be replaced by Neil Manthorpe.
I think that'll be the ultimate test for them. How they go in South Africa, how they go in England, how they go in Australia. They've got the team for it. They've got the bench strength in the fast bowling department that can be very handy in those countries. And it's a team that will stay together for the next 2-3 years. I think there'll be very few changes in the side, so the nucleus of the team will be the same. Plus, it has got the ammunition to take 20 wickets in those conditions.
देख जीत गई इंडिया तो 32 ओवर में 206, रोहित शर्मा 96, विराट कोहली 64। ये बता हो गया
तेरा किसी इसका तो नहीं भोपाल से अजय कुमार कौन है तुमने दिया था ये
मैंने कब दिया था?
पता नहीं किसी और ने कराया होगा या हमसे तो तुम दिया हमने देखा नहीं तेरा।
ऊपर के 2 मेरे नीचे 4 थे मेरे नीचे के। ये नंबर है मेरा कौन है?
ये तो हमारा ही है तो
नीचे के 4 थे मेरे।
अभी इसमें एक और 4 नहीं।
देख ये तो मेरा है,
अभी तो मेरा हो रहा है इसमें।
ये भी मेरा है, ये तो ये होता है।
सब है तेरे तो ये मेरे ख्याल से पहले से रखा होगा हमने सोचा कि वो तेरे में
दो प्रिंट वो 2 पीडीएफ पर पड़ी हुई थी पहले से ही।
हाँ वो तो यही है तो ये तो हमारे पीडीएफ में नहीं था मेरे ख्याल से वहाँ उनके पीडीएफ उसमें रखा होगा पहले हमने सोचा तेरे में होगा।
ले आया सब्जी?
हाँ
क्या वो है तेरे पास वाइट शर्ट खुली हुई है, प्रेस हुई है?
प्रेस में मेरे पास प्रेस है वैसे
कहने बाद आएगी कि नहीं आ जाएगी वैसे तो तेरा साइज बढ़ेगा।
ऐसा तो मैंने ये तो पहले थी वो लास्ट ईयर इंटरव्यू दिया था 2015 वाला तभी कर दी थी।
ग्रीन है प्लेन चल जाएगी वो है?
ग्रीन के ये थोड़ी ज़्यादा वो है ना
ये नहीं
बिल्कुल ग्रीन है
ये तो ग्रीन है ग्रीन
ऐसी अच्छी है।
मैं तो लिया है मैं तो मतलब जैसे ऑफिस आता था ना वो क्या चलेगी यार
आ जाएगी
डिग्री लगी है
इतना भी नहीं है ये लग रहा है बटन टूट जाएगा
सीना है भाई का
तो मेरा भी है
यहाँ पे जुगा कर दो सही है डिग्री तो नहीं है ना
ये सब तो बंद क्यों कर दिया है तूने ऐसे तो चल रहा था वो लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग दे रहे थे लोगों को यार मैं
मैंने कहा बंद लगी तो पहले बंद होगी मैंने लगता चलाया नहीं वहाँ बैठा
अच्छा
अभी आया
लाइव स्ट्रीमिंग दे रहा था लोगों को
कौन सा साइड डलवा रखे तुमने कौन सा साइड डलवा रखा
नेट का है 800 रुपये का
कितने जीबी
अनलिमिटेड हाँ
क्या होता है
और अनलिमिटेड स्पीड खूब ट्रांसफर आती है। अब कड़ी बनाएंगे
वही नहीं बोला
हाँ वो तो उसी में ही सोता है मैं उससे कहता हूँ अगर सोचा नीचे की साइड नहीं इसके पास 2 गद्दे हैं नहीं सीरियस कैंडिडेट है ऊपर डायरेक्ट करता रहता है। अब नया लाएंगे नहीं बहुत दिन हो गए पता है कब का है खड़गपुर का नहीं तो इतने दिनों से कहाँ होता है किसी
जब तो नौकरी लग तो कहीं हेलो
is not as easy as this. So really, it's always for a very good game on Sunday.
None for 33 from his 5 overs for Taskin Ahmed. Bowling from the pavilion end, it's Rohit Sharma facing after scoring that brilliant 100. This time on the full, back turns and hands with driven there, finds the fielder at mid-on. What have you thought of Pakistan? They've grown in confidence. They look like a different team from the one that lost to India.
Yeah, well, they started badly, but they're now in the final, and that's what you play for, to be in the final. And I'm sure they want to give up their best, and they have a lot of support, and it should be really quite an interesting game. Final.
That's a mild way to put it. This time, Rohit Sharma just puts it down to the leg side. A lot of support is a mild way to put it. It'll be mad, sir. It'll be mad on Sunday at the Oval.
It'll be noisy. It will be, and that's good. That's good for the game. And as we say in London, it's a plural society, and I'm sure that with all this stuff that was going on in the last couple of months, we'd love to have a good game of cricket.
Taskin Ahmed running into Rohit Sharma, facing Fuller on the off-stump, past the fielder at mid-off, just caressed it on the front foot, straight drive down the crown. Like I said, you love to watch these shots.
Yes, it is. This is a beautiful pitch. They're seeing this as big as a football, really. You see the shots they're playing. The short balls are being pulled quite nonchalantly. They're driving to perfection. They're at home here.
Juicy half volley from Taskin Ahmed, and the proverbial football, as Sir Clive pointed out. Can see only Indian flags fluttering now. Can see a lot of vacant seats. It seems like the Bangladeshi fans might have decided that they've seen enough. Few of them still around. Can see a few green and red jerseys. Again, this time through the cover. But there is a fielder in the deep. So just a single for Rohit Sharma. That was his 13th 4 on the previous delivery. Now he moves on to 108 the score, 223 for 1. Only Indian flags waving now, as I pointed out. India always enjoy good support everywhere. Even from your days, I think, even in the West Indies, whenever the Indian team toured, always enjoyed great support everywhere they've gone, and it's not changed over the years, really. Taskin Ahmed again, this time to Virat Kohli, who drops it short, plays it down towards third man for a single.
Yes, and they have, the supporters travel. I have a lot of my friends from India who are here, and from the States, from the West Indies. So India do have a lot of good supporters, no doubt about that. But they'll have quite a few Pakistanis too. So I think it has that flavour. It's a good curry flavour.
As Taskin Ahmed runs in for the last delivery of the 35th over, Fuller. Rohit Sharma is on the front foot and defends it. Any interesting stories of people asking favour for tickets? I'm sure there are plenty in your playing days.
Oh yes, well, you always have that. There's no doubt about that. People always, can you get me a couple? They probably think that you have you get a set of tickets and you can, just distribute. But it's politely up to tell them, I'm sorry, I don't have any. If I do get one, I'll pass it on to you.
Well, it's 35 overs gone, 224 for 1. Kohli 70 not out of 58 balls. Rohit 108 of 118 balls. It will be Shakib Al Hasan continuing, none for 34 from 6 overs. That's so far. No Bangladesh bowler has put enough pressure on the Indian batsman. Mustafizur is the likely candidate, but he went for runs against Rohit and Dhawan, and since then India have been on the front foot, never taken their foot off the pedal. This time again on the full, on the off and middle, played it down towards the fielder, long off, just the 1 run. Kohli can knock these around forever and ever. 40 needed of 89 balls.
Yes, this is now a very placid pitch. Nothing's happening, it's not turning at all. And they're driving with consummate ease.
Rohit this time drives through the cover and finds the fielder in the deep. Just the 1 run there. 109 for him, 71 not out for Kohli. Partnership worth 139. This has been an easy chase for India, whichever way you look at it. in-form openers. In-form number 3 batsman. This time plays it towards the fielder at extra cover for no run.
Well,
so Shakib once again on the back foot, drives it down the ground towards long on, just a 1 run. Again and again, we have to come back to the point that Bangladesh didn't have enough runs. How do you look at them as a whole team now? They've reached the semi-final. This is a big achievement for them. They have made the quarterfinals of the ICC 2015 ODI World Cup. Shakib once again to Rohit, played it down towards long on, standing tall in his retreat.
yes, this will give them a lot of encouragement, because nobody gave them a chance of getting this far, and they've really done well to get to the semi-final, and I'm sure that
Kohli plays it past the fielder extra cover to the fielder in the team, and just the 1 run there to end the 36th over. It's 229 for 1. A continued comment from Sir Clive Lloyd, and then to take the action towards the end of the game is Jonathan Norman.
yes, India really taking their time here to get to this final. They didn't have to do anything silly, and they've really continued to just stroke it around the park. The supporters are enjoying this batting display, and the first 4 players for India are in very good nick at the moment. So really and truly, the game on Sunday, the final, really should be one to watch.
Absolutely. 229 for 1, 36 overs gone, and Taskin Ahmed is in again. A little bit of width, and that's cut away backward a square for another boundary. 1 bounce, 4, and Virat Kohli moves to 77. 32, make that 28 needed. And he could get a century here, if he farms a strike.
I'm sure he could. And he's playing with gear banded.
That's also the first boundary behind the wicket from Virat Kohli, who's at 77 runs. Only 8 of them have not been hit in front of the batsman. He's just been playing everything in the V pretty much, as this is played again into the leg side. So 233 for 1, 32 needed. Kohli 23 away from a century of his own. Rohit Sharma 110. Kohli has been going at a strike rate in and around 120, 130, pretty much for his entire innings. But I can't think of a risky shot. Taskin Ahmed bowling from the pavilion end. One of Bangladesh's better bowlers, it must be said, and what's been a chastening afternoon in the end. As this is cut away. A little bit of frustration from Kohli. He wanted that to go a little bit square, straight to the fielder at third man. That's not a shot we're going to see him playing Test cricket with 3 slips and a keeper, but pretty safe today.
Well, yes, I mean they've got their field spread out, and they're able to do that with ease. They're just at home here. David Lloyd would now say, "Start the car."
I think David Lloyd would be in the car and heading back home. Ahmed in again, so close to the stumps. This is a short delivery, and Rohit Sharma just pulls that behind square on the leg side, bisects the fielder at deep square leg and at long leg, and that's another boundary. And he just makes batting look like one of us could just step out the commentary box and do it. I mean, you probably still could. And it's an incredible shot, but also shows the pace of this pitch.
He's hit that quite. He just took his time and placed it, because the pitch is so slow, and if you bowl short balls of that caliber, it would be struck well.
We saw an amazing partnership between Ben Stokes and Owen Morgan at the last group stage game. Short again from Taskin Ahmed, and Rohit Sharma was aiming towards mid-wicket, but it went a little bit squarer than he intended, and he just comes through for a single. We saw a magnificent partnership between Stokes and Morgan at this very ground a few days back. It really lit up the crowd, and same thing's happened today. 150 partnership between Rohit Sharma, who scored all around the wicket, and Virat Kohli, who predominantly has hit down the ground, and they have done it at quite some pace as well. Ahmed is in again, slightly fuller, and I think that's the length that he should be operating on. And Virat forward on the drive, inside edge, no timing really, squirts out into the leg side. I haven't said that much when it's come to Virat Kohli. It's all pinged off the bat.
Yeah, this is a great batting display. They haven't struck anything in anger. They placed the ball, they stroked it along the ground. The odd ball went up into the air, but you expect that if at times in one-day cricket. But it was just a great display of batting, and I hope all the young people who are watching that will learn something from this. It is just exquisite. It was, you want to see this ever. These are the guys that you want to pay money to come and see bat.
Couldn't have said it better myself. That's the thoughts of Sir Clive Lloyd, two-time World Cup winner. You're listening to TalkSport 2 and Cricket Radio's coverage of the ICC Champions Trophy. Spider Cam. Just it's a wondrous thing to watch, Spider Cam at close up. Shakib Al Hassan bowling from the pavilion end. There's a little bit of width to Rohit Sharma, who can't get the ball past the fielder at backward point. No run. 2-3-9 for 1.
Well, you can say it's not a drone.
It isn't a drone. No, it isn't. Again, cut away, this time in front of point for a single by Rohit Sharma. He moves to 116. 240 for 1. 25 needed from 76 deliveries. The conversation at the back of the room was just how many as Shakib is in. This is Fuller. He's a round arm bowling, just sees Virat playing the ball back to the bowler. Turns, again comes in from the Birmingham end. This is down the leg side and helped fine. The chases on for the fielder, and the ball's going to win. 2-4-4 for 1. I mean, what score could they have chased? That's the question we're asking ourselves at the back of the press box while I was listening to you and Chaitan, Sir Clive. 340, 360, 400?
Well, the point is, if it's 340, they would have had to, play a few more shots, actually.
More shots?
And it probably might have...
Shakib in, and Virat Kohli just plays this up to a long off. He moves to 83, the score 2-4-5 for 1.
Yes, at 340, it looks different. You'd want to sort of not get behind the rate, so you might play a few more shots, but you never know.
You never know.
Playing so well.
Well, we've seen teams chase down plus 400 scores before. Width here, and it's driven airily up over extra cover. And I'll let the crowd tell the story.
This is such a wonderful display. It is magnificent. That was hit just over extra cover, and not with a lot of power, but it just spread to the boundary, and they're now in that mode to get to the oval, get there quickly, and hope that they can bat like this against Pakistan.
Well, what a crowd. They are almost to a man on their feet, and they're just enjoying the spectacle.
It's good. It's good for cricket. A massive crowd today, and they've enjoyed batting from both sides.
I think from a neutral's perspective, we've enjoyed this batting spectacle. There's two better in the world, and 16 needed, and Kohli 17 away from a century and facing up. I just wonder whether he's going to go on the charge to reach 3 figures as well. 16 needed from 72. 249 for 1. India. Gareth Batty has joined me. I said India would chase down the score in 40 overs. And for once in my life, I might actually be right. This is a horrible delivery from Sabir, dragged down and deposited. Mid-wicket boundary for another boundary.
Absolutely dispatched over sort of straight mid-wicket, really. It was an absolute long up of the top draw. Absolute pie.
The only surprise was it didn't go for 6. Kohli moves to 87. This is Fuller and left alone by Kohli. 12 needed. Kohli's 13 away from 100.
Ooh, can he do it? Can he do it? Can he do it?
Oh, it'll be interesting to see Rohit Sharma's approach if he gets back on strike.
Yeah.
One run from the bat of Virat Kohli, who stands tall, punches ball through cover.
I actually don't think it'll be on his mind. I really don't. I reckon these guys have been in such a zone and played so well, they won't even consider it.
That cheer you can hear, and if you could distinguish it from all the other cheers, it's a mark of respect. Virat Kohli's 8,000th one-day run. Just wonder how many he's going to end up with. Single to the leg side by Rohit Sharma. So the 100 is still there, and the crowd certainly wants it.
How old is it, Virat? 28?
Yeah, it's about that. Well, I'll check in a second.
He could double that.
Samir is in, and he takes a single to long on. I think you're right. I think the century might have gone. 9 needed. 2-5-6 for 1. 1 ball left to the 39th. Well, maybe not. Maybe it's still on, because Rohit Sharma has just dead batted at delivery, so he won't take strike at the start of the 40th. Virat Kohli will, who is 89, not out. India need 9. So what price? 4-4-4.
I'm going 6-6 if he does it.
Yeah, that would also work.
I'm going 2 maximums.
As with 2-2-2-2.
Absolutely. No, I'm going for the 2 maximums, that's for sure. If it's going to happen, I think it'd be pretty tough. It's Shakib still on. He won't want him to take him down. He'll have to take big risk.
11 overs remaining. It's all about whether Kohli gets his ton. Shakib is in from the Birmingham end, and delicately played to short third man. Little cut, little dab from Kohli, no run.
Pretty inconsequential now, but that was a nice ball from Shakib Al-Hasan.
I doubt he'll be making the TalkSport 2 highlights package.
No.
This is played up to long off. I don't think he will get the century. Kohli moves to 90. 8 needed. This can be done in 2 hits. There's a big gap. Deep mid-wicket. Rohit Sharma, 121. Let's not forget his innings. Plays this past extra cover for a single. It's back on.
It is back on, because
back on.
He normally races between the wickets, does Kohli, and he's just sauntered down the other end there. He fancy. You may be right. You may be right. You've got the overs correct on what they're going to chase it down, so you might have this absolutely nailed on. 3
balls to do it in.
It's Martin McCutcheon for you. This is your moment.
Shakib Al-Hasan is in on the pads of Kohli. He'll tuck this away to deep square for another single. This off. 91 to his name. I think Rohit's just going to hit it now. He realises that Kohli's not interested in personal milestones. 259 for 1. Shakib is in, and this is played all along the ground, and the fielder at long on will have to run just as much or just as far as the batsman to field. 260 for 1. 1 ball left of the 40th over. 5 needed. Shakib Al-Hasan is in, and we will go to the 41st over as Kohli takes another single. We'll face the first ball of the 41st over, but this has been an absolute batting masterclass from these two, hasn't it?
It really has, and I think for any young cricketers, if you've been lucky enough to watch this or listen to what we've been describing out there, it's the poise, the balance, the skill in which India have chased this total down. It doesn't have to be crash bang wallop. Yes, they've hit boundaries, yes, they've hit sixes, but they've done it with just great skill, balance,
And you don't have to slog, you don't have to have brute strength. This really has been quite wonderfully skilled batsmen. This is craftsmanship at its best, and that's the one thing. The modern era of life, we're losing craftsmen, but we've got two absolute jet craftsmen out there today.
And there's none better than the man facing Sabir. This is tossed up, and it is hit through extra cover. Virat Kohli seals a magnificent Indian victory with a 4. There's an embrace between Rohit Sharma, a century to his name, and Kohli, who ends 4 short. But India have made an absolute mockery of what on another day could have been a real testing total of 265. They've chased it down in 1 ball over 40 overs, and they have set up the most mouth-watering of all clashes in the final of the ICC Champions Trophy. The destiny awaits at the Oval in South London on Sunday with Pakistan. India will play Pakistan in the final of an ICC 50-over event after India have chased down Bangladesh's total and have beaten them by 9 wickets. Rohit unbeaten 123, Kohli unbeaten 96. After Bangladesh posted 264 for 7, India have swatted them aside in Gareth Batty. Pakistan enjoyed yesterday, but they won't have enjoyed watching this today.
No, I mean, the wickets were totally different, weren't they? They were 2 different games of cricket played, and it will be really interesting to see how Pakistan go about trying to take on India, because that was quite imperious the way they've chased that score down. Quite incredible. You think of the names that haven't even been out in the field to bat pretty much throughout the whole competition. You know, they're a very, very, very powerful team. But wow, you said mouth-watering. This is going to be a 3-party weekend, pre, during and after. There's going to be millions, if not billions and billions, partying for what is arguably the biggest sporting event of 2017 so far, and it's about to happen in our capital at the weekend. 2 traditional countries going head to head, and the skill sets marry up. Potentially the best batting team in the world in India against potentially the best bowling team in the world in Pakistan. Who comes out on top?
Well, it's been a quite marvellous lesson today for all of us who didn't play the game, but maybe some of us who did probably picked up a pointer or 2 as well. Thank you from Gareth Batty. That's it from me, John Norman. And now, time for Mark Saggers, who will take us through the remainder of the show.
I don't think you're going anywhere, actually, just for a moment, if that's all right.
Absolutely.
Well, unless I'm going to do a soliloquy for the next 20 minutes. Well, that was quality, wasn't it, really? Start to finish for India today.
It really was. Truly, I feel privileged to have sat where we're sat, watching India just play pretty much a perfect game of cricket. The bowling was impressive, it was nice, it was good, but wow, what we've just seen there with the bat. Do you know what? Genuinely, I would put my hard-earned money out on the table. I would pay to have watched that today. It was quite incredible.
It wasn't just the manner with which they did it. It was with the quality and assurance that they did it as well today. They didn't really put a foot wrong, those 2 in that partnership, once Kohli came to the wicket. He did what he had to. Yeah,
and even Shikhar Dhawan before that, his footwork was precise. The way he struck the ball was beautiful. It was almost like if you could possibly hear the shots, even the singles they were hitting to long off, it was like a gunshot going off as they were striking the ball. I mean, the precision, the balance, the skill was just absolutely incredible. Yes, it was a good batting wicket, but still, wow, the way that those fellas went about it, I'm just glad I wasn't bowling at them.
264 for 7, it was never going to be enough in the end. 265 for 1, with just 1 delivery over 40 overs, so with plenty to spare. And it's India that move on to the Oval on Sunday. Talk sport from 10 o'clock for the final of the Champions Trophy 2017. Interesting to see what happens there. I think both sides put it in. If you win the toss, do they put the opposition in and chase? I think they both look like sides that want to chase in a way. I can't see Pakistan wanting to bat first.
Yeah, I think for 2 different reasons. I think Pakistan will want to try and blow India away. They want to get amongst their batting lineup. They want to restrict them from a total that
you know, I would say they probably can't chase in excess of 280. I think anything bigger than that, their lineup suggests it's going to be very difficult for them. Anything up to 280, whoa, they're a real chance, and their bowling attack suggests they could put India under pressure. India want to chase for exactly the opposite. They feel like they can chase, well, judging by today, they could probably chase 1,000. They just looked quite incredible, but they're just so assured and calm about how they dismantle a bowling attack and chase the runs that is required.
The shots today from the captain as well, Kohli, he's just changed his mindset a little, hasn't he? He doesn't think he's got to prove anything in many ways. He doesn't have to completely... He entertains anyway because he's such a magnificent batsman, but he doesn't have to go over the top, and I think we've seen that in the last few months, haven't we, from him now, that he's going to just take his time to make sure he got in, and that for me was what was the mark of the way they just ground out Bangladesh, because he came in, he let Rohit continue to take a lot of the strike, just took him a while with his ones and twos, and then before you know it, he was playing some of the best shots I've seen in a long time.
Yeah, I mean, he is, you know, and this will always be the debate, who is the best? He certainly